Well, we all know what it feels like to be depressed. Now, I am not talking about clinical depression, so know that. But when it comes to being depressed or down, I find that usually what's present is there's some idea of where we are versus where we want to be. And the difference between the two feels like bigger than we can manage or overcome in the moment. And so we're overwhelmed by the state of things as they are. So where I am and where I want to be is different, and I'm not really seeing how to get from where I am to where I want to be. And that creates a feeling of something's wrong or depression. And I think that it's really a perfect place to start to interrupt and intervene on the depression, because when we feel like we can't get to where we want to be, what has really happened is we have lost connection to our sense of possibility. Our sense of possibility is a powerful freaking tool. When we feel like we can do, we can be, we can have, we get up and we go after it. It's when we slip into feeling like we can't do, be, or have, like we can't figure it out, like there's something wrong, and probably specifically something wrong with us or the system, but there's some fundamental way that makes getting what we want hard or impossible. And when we think that it's impossible, whether we have articulated that or not, that overwhelm can lead to depression. It can lead to frustration, can lead to a feeling of, oh, I don't know, if I don't know, then I can't. And that's where we want to intervene. We want to always know, regardless of the circumstances of the moment, there has to be a place in the back of our mind, somewhere in our body or soul. We have to look for that opening that says there's more to you. There's so much possibility inside of you. Don't let this moment hold your feet to the idea that you are stuck in some sort of forever state. Your feet are not in cement. This moment is not going to last forever. But if you start to think about this moment like it is a forever state and will dictate the rest of your life, it is going to be easy to slip into that kind of overwhelm and frustration that leads to depression. And the more often you let your mind go to this feeling of being left out, of being stuck, of being in cement, the more that normal depression that comes with being a human being can become chronic. So we have to have in our tool belt a way of reminding ourselves that this moment, no matter how big and overwhelming and painful or frustrating it might be, it is not the last moment. It is a freaking moment in time. And so a couple of simple strategies that I use and prompts that you can use are these. Number one is, again, you are a creative vessel. You are a point of creativity. Your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs create. And so knowing that lets you go, okay, let's be mindful of what I'm thinking, how I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and what I am believing, because it is creating. Just reminding yourself of that will help you be more mindful about what you think and how you think and what you feel and how you feel about yourself and about this moment. And then what can dislodge this moment, from feeling like it's a forever state is the slightest bit of possibility. So our prompt, which is up until now, and then from this point forward. So up until now, this has felt like a block, like this, I feel stuck and frustrated and overwhelmed up until now. And when you say up until now, there is a pause that says, okay, that's how it has been. But from this point forward, it can change for the better. That is such an important pause, because that pause, really, we feel it in our bodies. And our bodies are really intuitive instruments. And when you can feel that little spark of room or possibility inside of yourself, what happens is that you pull yourself out of the mind, out of the grinding of the mind, out of the surviving self that is always in worry, doubt, and fear. And more of you becomes available. When you drain your attention from the mind, you allow more of your heart and your stomach to come online and be part of how you feel, sense, and assess. So up until now, there's that pause. I have felt this way, but that's that pause. It's even bigger. From this point forward, it can change for the better. See, you don't even have to know how it's going to change. You can just affirm that it can change for the better. It can change for the better. That's the message that we are waiting for when we're stuck. That's the message that we need when we're stuck. We need the message that says, this is just a moment. It can change for the better. The moment the creative part of us remembers that we are this awesomely creative tool and we have this power to create, now we can get back on track. Now we can ask ourselves, okay, so what do I want to create? And just being able to say, I want to move beyond this moment. I want to have trust and faith that there is more for me. I want to feel like I am making progress. Each one of those wants that you identify, you now give your mind and heart a very specific target. And when we have a specific target, we begin to navigate towards it. We ask, how do we get there? And the entire universe seems to conspire to help us begin to move. But we have to trust that what we want and speaking what we want and being open to what we want is creative and powerful. So often we want to hold on to what we want or not speak about what we want because we're afraid that we're not going to really get it. Or, we're in such confusion or the habit of not acknowledging what we want that we aren't able to articulate what we want. What do you want? Be in the habit of allowing yourself to acknowledge what you want. Because what you want is going to help you expand and move forward in your life. Not everything that you want is going to be what you wind up with, because some of our wants are really substitute wants. It's the thing that we're wanting, thinking that it's going to get us what we really want, but we haven't been able to articulate what we really want. When you really want peace, or you really want to feel like you belong, a lot of people use a career or a mate, or some clothing or something external, thinking that getting that thing is going to help them fill the hole and fulfill what they want. But then they get that thing and they still have the hole, or they still have the want, because the true want hasn't been identified. When we know that what we want is to feel our power, or to walk with more peace, or to thrive more than survive, or to be unshameable, or to trust ourselves. But you got to be open to the ride. When we know what we want, it will be like a laser in helping us to navigate the life before us in a way that forges and manifests and creates the thing we truly want. I'm loving you.